What is going on, viewers? It is Farnarme here as always, so welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. So, as you all know, Forza Motorsport 7 was recently added to Game Pass servers on both Xbox and PC, which is really good news because the lobbies have been kind of empty recently in this game, and having more players in the lobby is gonna make the racing even more fun, and that's why I'm so happy that this game is added to Game Pass right now. And if you got the game on Game Pass and you're probably new to the game and you've never played it before, so I decided to make a quick guide of how to get better quickly and give you some tips and especially tell you the rules of Motorsport for this game. So let's get started. Starting off with the assist, so you're ideally gonna be using braking line only, and ABS off, steering normal, traction control off, stability control off, and you want to use manual with clutch, especially because it's so much quicker than normal manual. And for that, you have to go to controller settings in the game and switch clutch and handbrake. So your clutch will be A and your handbrake will be LB on your controller. So when you want to shift up, you just press A and B together, and when you want to downshift, you just press A and X together, and that's going to do the job for you. And one more thing, if you've been playing this game for more than 6 hours and if you have any of the assists,
What are you even doing this for?
you heard the man. What are you even doing this for? I know people that have been playing this game for more than a year and they still have some of the assists turned on. I really, just honestly, you have to turn them off. Even if you think you're not going to be any faster, you will. Just put some effort and time, put a few hours into the game, and you're going to get used to it. So, straightforward, just as we want to get into a race, get into a practice session, straightforward, we're gonna whip out the Koenigsegg 1.1, the absolute animal speed, 1300 horsepower. This thing is absolutely mental, and we're gonna whip it out. Imagine if you're just a day one player, you have to whip it out, give it a try, see if you can even control the thing without any of the assist. So, as we get off the line, major roll spin, you might end up sideways, and because you're probably not going to control the car, but even if you don't end up sideways, that's just good news. So going through a corner, this is most likely going to happen. People are going to just smash down the throttle, and the car is just going to keep going forward. It's not going to turn anymore, it's just going to keep going forward straight ahead, and you're going to find yourself in a wall, which is, you don't ideally want to be in a wall. And in here I noticed that this car needs some serious tuning because it was stuck. So we're gonna pause it here, do the magical stuff behind the scene, and boom, we're done. Okay, we've tuned the car. So going through the SS at Suzuka, this is if you've been using traction control and now you just turn it off, this is definitely gonna happen to you because I've been there and this has happened to me before. So I'm showing you examples of what you have to be expecting if you're a new player, if you've just decided to turn like traction control and stability management off. So this is what you have to expect. So we're gonna leave the Koenigsegg one here, go back to the menu, pick something less powerful. As a day one player, you wanna just first get used to the game, get a feeling of how the physics work, and how the car turns or they brake, or just how the game basically works. So we're gonna get the BRZ out, and with a low power card like this, if you're new and you just wanna see how the game works, just turn all the assists off immediately, because you're gonna get used to it like that and you're gonna improve massively over time. And because assists are just basically, they just hold you off, hold you off from improving. So I really recommend turning them off. So as you can see here, just pick a low powered car where you can actually like floor the throttle and the car won't really spin or won't have any like drama, and just, you know, get used to the game, see how find the lines through each corner, see which line is the best, or like figure out when you have to get on the throttle, when you have to get on the brakes and things like that. That's why I suggest using the braking line or just the full suggested line if you're day one, so you can see the racing lines, see which lines are the best and get used to them. So as you can see, the car doesn't really have all that much drama when you get on the throttle. It doesn't spin because it doesn't have any power, basically, that's it. And I wanted to end it there, but one thing about manual with clutch that you really have to keep it in mind and you would figure it out even if I didn't tell you right now. But you have to keep it in mind when you're like turning completely left like that. Look at this, I'm turning left, flooring it, I shifted up, that happened. My car basically got a kick of oversteer, the back end slid, and then, well, the car spun out. And that's one thing you want to keep in mind if you're using manual clutch and you're turning left completely in a low gear, like first or second. If you have to shift up, you ideally want to lift off the throttle, shift up, and then get back on the throttle, so that won't happen to you. So that was it. You've spent like a few hours with this car, with a low powered car, and now you know how the game, you kind of know how the game works, you kind of know what lines are good for taking, and you're gonna now get a better car, get a more powerful car, so that you can now start practicing throttle management and like how to take the corners properly in a more powerful car. So starting with the Honda NSX, 400 and something horsepower, I don't remember. This is an A-class car with 700 PI. So as you can see, I'm driving it a little bit differently compared to the BRZ. Like here, I brake because the car is going faster, going through some corners. I don't just, you see that I don't immediately floor it. I get on the throttle gradually. Like I go 50% throttle and then I get back on the throttle afterwards, like full throttle. So it might be a little bit confusing, but as you play the game, you'll understand what I'm telling you today. So before that, we've had enough of that. I'm gonna tell you some of the most important things in motorsport. Let me get my notebook out. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, so first thing is you rejoining the track when you go off. So if you if you get punted off, or if you like misjudge the braking point, or somehow you just go off the track, the rejoin angle is really important. You should never come back on the track at 90 degrees, or just come across the track when you're rejoining, and then just go from right side to the left side and block people, because that is really dangerous and that could cause some serious accident. And if you have, motorsport is like a contactless sport, that's what it's called, and you don't want to make contact. So rejoin angles are really important. When you're rejoining the track, always look behind and make sure that no one else is behind you, or and never rejoin at 90 degrees. That's it. And I'm going to show you some examples later on in the video. So second most important thing is what do I write here? Oh yeah, I see now. Awareness of your proximity. So when you're racing, you ideally want to know where everyone else next to you are. Someone might be behind you, someone might be to your right or to your left. So awareness of your proximity is really important. So if someone is up your inside, someone's on your inside, and you shouldn't turn in on them, because if you're aware of their presence on your inside, well, that helps you to avoid accidents. Because if you turn in on them, that's going to cause an accident, and this is not good. So as you can see here, driving the Corvette, getting on the throttle really like super gradually and gently, because if you go full throttle while your car is still turning, your back end is definitely going to spin out. So along with that, and next up we got map and time gap awareness. So that's really important as well, because if you're like alone on the track, if you're in first place and you go off the track, if you don't know where everyone else is, the guy behind you might be only 1 second behind you, and when you're like, okay, no one's behind you can rejoin at any angle you want, but then someone suddenly appears off a corner and you're gonna have an accident, which I'll show you an example of that as well at the end of the video. So that's that. Always be aware of the map and the time gaps, which is gonna be above the map in a race, so you know where everyone else is, like how far ahead or how behind you they are. So next up we got, if you hit someone, like if you misjudge your braking point, or if you just tap them a little bit and they spin around, you need to pull off to the side of the track somewhere safe and wait for them. Let them go back past you. They should have the position against you. If you hit them like accidentally, when you just hit them a little bit and they spin out, you need to wait for them and let them have the position against you. So that's that. Wait for people. If you hit someone, just wait for them. That's all you need to know. And track limits. Next up, we got track limits here. And this is this is a good example of a rejoin. Did you see that? It was really slowly rejoined the track, and then at a really good angle, not on the racing line. That's really important as well. So I'm afraid I might run out of time for saying all these. So track limits. So if you see an extra tarmac on the outside of the corner, you shouldn't extend the corner. You should just keep it within the curb. And those runoff areas, those extra tarmac is on the outside of the corner, is because if you get hit or if you just go wide, you don't lose too much time, so you can recover quickly. Those are not for you to take advantage over other people. Always keep that in mind as well. So never extend or cut a corner. Always keep it within the curbs. So that's it. And last but not least, we got moving while braking. And that's something you really never should do. And this is a good example of why you should be aware of time gaps and the map. You see, this guy had an accident. Well, it was not his fault, but as he rejoined the track, he thought he's alone, but then suddenly I appeared doing 150 kilometers an hour. So that if he was looking at the time gaps, he knew I was coming, and he wouldn't just rejoin at that angle, and you know, that awkward moment wouldn't have happened. Oh man, I ran out of time to say my things. This was supposed to be the bonus clip. As you can see, someone tried to ram me off. The Slim Shady tried to ram me off, but it didn't work. And we got Simp Syndicate trying to brake check me, but I'm just gonna make sure that's never gonna happen. By putting him in the wall and looking behind, a Slim Shady is just gonna absolutely kill himself by going into the wall. So, last thing, really quickly, never swerve across on the braking zone. That's really important because that's going to cause an accident. When you're braking, just keep your line, hold your line, don't swerve across. So that was it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have enjoyed. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you found it useful and if you'd like to see more of the same content. So stay safe, take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.